toward me like you like it.
Well, that means I have to pretend like I like you.
Well, pretend. It's imagination time. Hello!
Hello! I've been waiting all week to get to do that to you. I don't think there's any editing allowed on this.
Air. You're the way so pretty. Okay.
As you can see, I'm on the podcast this week. Kendra can't introduce me.
We'll begin over again. Okay. Oh. Ready. Hello!
Hello!
This is the Such Nice Work podcast. I'm Kendra, and this is Steve.
Hi.
My hubby. You can get a hold of me, who is regularly here, on Ravelry as Kendra KS, on the blog at cutesiepoocreations.blogspot.com, below in the YouTube comments, or, you can email me at cutesiepoocreations@gmail.com. And one of these days, I am going to learn all of those things without it feeling weird and awkward. So, if this is your first time, thank you for showing up and checking me out. He is not ordinarily with me, so this is a special presentation in honor of my birth.
30 years ago.
Yes, because while we are filming on December 23rd, which is Tuesday, on Thursday, which is December 25th, I'm turning 30. Yay, me. Not that that's an accomplishment. Hooray, I haven't died. Though I know, in this year, hooray, I haven't died is kind of a good...
Year.
Yeah, hooray, I didn't die is kind of an accomplishment this year. But yes.
We'll take it.
And if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. You're aware of the randomness, which is me. So, when I started the podcast a whopping 7 episodes ago, because despite the fact that I think I said it wrong in the last episode, this is episode 8. 8?
It's great.
Mm-hmm. I don't usually have somebody to speak to. It's very strange. I talked previously about how it's weird to look at myself moving on the screen. It's even weirder to see us both. Because I feel you here. And I see you there. Like I was saying as I was setting this up. It's a moving ussy.
I keep losing track of where I am, so... I get distracted by the snow outside.
Yes, it started to snow, and it's pretty. It's kind of spitting rain and snow right now.
It's also kind of going sideways, because we live in Kansas, and there's 20-mile-per-hour winds right now.
Oh, it is going... When I looked out the window upstairs, like moments ago, it was all swirly-whirly. So I was looking for the Lincoln Tunnel, like, buddy. Right?
What's your favorite color?
Purple. What's your favorite color?
Red.
You think we would have figured this out by now? Anyways, what I was saying is when I started making the podcast, Steve kept saying that I should have guests and stuff on and people to talk to. And instead, you all got stuck with me alone most of the time. But when we're talking about it, I said, well, you should come on the podcast sometime. And he said, okay, I will. And because that's my Steve's voice. And I said... okay, how about if I'm doing this, or I think I said when I'm doing this, 8 weeks from now, on my birthday, you should come on. And you said, okay. And now here you are.
Here I am.
Because you have been wrangled for my birthday.
Would saying I'm here in the flesh be correct on a podcast? Because I'm not really in the flesh, I'm in the video.
I know. I don't know. But this is a video podcast. You must listen to audio podcasts, so they could be like pantsless, and you wouldn't even know.
Yeah, I think they usually are actually. But most of them record their podcasts from their home.
Well, we're not wearing real pants. We're wearing pajama pants. So we'll get started. So that's welcome. Hi. Okay, we're gonna try and be a little more to the point today.
It's not gonna happen.
So, anyways, what I'm wearing. Steve and I are both wearing something that I made a couple of years ago. These are the last set of holiday, Christmas Day pajama pants that I have made. Tradition we started when our daughter was born. That I made pajama pants for everybody for Christmas. And then we had a second one, and I still managed to squeak them out for Christmas. And then we had the third, and I couldn't move from the whole C-section bit. And so it didn't happen last year. And this year, well, most Christmas things just aren't happening.
Well, and you said your machine doesn't work right now.
Well, all three of my
all
machines
three of
work.
your machines don't work right now. Sounds like the problem I have with my hammers. They work, I just don't know where any of them are.
No, well, yes, that's true. I was going to say, is your axe broken too?
No, just my leg.
Or is that user error? Okay. So, that's what we are wearing. I didn't get anything else, clothing-wise. Oh, this is my Orscheln sweatshirt. I got this for,
Your birthday
my
last
birthday
year.
last year from you. Turns out I really like the way that Orscheln sweatshirts fit. I've gotten them like 2 years in a row, and they're like actually, I don't know, the right proportions for me. But it's kind of funny because the only way you can get them, they say Orscheln across the front instead of form. And
or they say something stupid about dogs.
Yeah, they have a lot of dog. Like, I understand the ones about chick days, because for those of you that don't live where there are Orschelns are like a farm, and was it Orscheln's farm?
Called Orscheln's Farm and Home. It says it right on the shirt.
At least it's backwards. So anyways, Farm and Home. They, sell, it's a hardware store.
On there. I can read it left to right. Orscheln, right. Farm and Home.
You're right. Don't mind me. But it's like a hardware store, and they sell chicks during chicking time of year. I'm sure there's a term for the chicking time of year. But yeah, they have something called Chick Days. You can go in and you can pet the chicks and then walk out with your little box if you are so inclined to buy chicks there, which we are not.
Yeah.
If we buy chicks, we're actually not going to buy them at a hardware store. I've heard that those have lots of illness. Haven't you listened to Chick on Thistle Farms?
Not closely in a while, no.
Yeah, they got a little ranty. Okie dokie. So
should we rant about podcasts that rant?
We're going to rant about that later. Oh, while we're at it. So, they have been speaking on the Yarny podcast lately. People have been having great conversations about drinking on air. And whether they agree or disagree with it. On your podcast that you listen to, which are mostly sports related, do they have a lot to say about whether or not you should drink on air?
Like,
tea,
anything?
Coffee, water?
Well, I would assume that since most of them is their profession and they spend several hours a day there, that they drink some form of liquid during the day.
Preferably not liquor.
Probably coffee.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Okay. I agree. I think that if you're going to ramble on, as we do, you should drink something so that your rambling can, sound nice for the peoples. So, okay, moving along. Squeaky wheels. Things that squeak in my head need to get taken care of. So, old squeaky wheels. My last squeaky wheel was to take care of general cleaning in the house, which I believe this week I have been doing a better job of.
I would agree.
I have been sweeping, like I talked about, because the kids and the food on the floor. I just slept before I came in here. And yeah, trying to keep things a bit neater, dealing with the clutter, of which we have much.
We got your apple squeaky wheels taken care of.
Oh, yeah. We had a squeaky wheel for a long time about getting the apples done. Steve finally finished them because Steve did most of the appling this year because I did other things that were not apples.
But they're done.
I did.
They're all in jars and sealed.
I did the parts that involved putting them in water.
Or in our belly.
Yeah, I do the cooking of the apples, which we eat in the winter or
yes.
in the summer. Which one? I was asked this morning by number 2.
Oh.
Whether we were going to have applesauce in the summer or the winter.
I told
him both.
because apples don't come until fall, so we need to have applesauce during both the winter and summer and spring. Though we eat other things in spring, hopefully.
Because hopefully we'll have fresh produce in the spring. My crafty squeaky wheel was to finish my commissions that I had and start working on my own kids' gifts, which I did. So, we'll talk more about those things later.
We can't talk about our kids' presents because our oldest has her ear pressed to whatever the closest thing between us and her is.
Which is the floor directly above us. She's supposed to be asleep right about there.
She is not.
She's not asleep. She's listening. So since the walls have ears, when it comes to my I'm proud of yous and such, we won't be discussing any of the children's presents, despite the fact some have gotten done this week. You will see them all next week, so come back if that is of interest to you. There will be some things that are done, but none of the kids' things. Let's see. My new squeaky wheels, my life squeaky wheel. I need to restock our pantry with our canned goods from the basement because the pantry's getting a little bare, little Mother Hubbardy in there when I go in there. But then I went in the basement to get something, and there's a lot of stuff down there.
There is a lot of stuff.
So I need to bring stuff from down there up here so that we can eat.
Or you just need to make a list so that I can go get the stuff from down there and bring it up here.
Yeah, because I've been carrying it up one jar at a time as I want it, and that's not very efficient.
No.
I also need to inventory our freezer and see what's in there, and then kind of do a little bit of meal planning, because this week I made that list and I wrote down what we were going to eat, and so far I have managed to prepare meals at all the appropriate meal times. And by
Always nice.
And by so far I mean 3 days. 3 days is a lot.
That's a lot.
Okay, my crafty squeaky wheels. I would like to get all of my works in progress crochet wise done before New Year's, excluding the Afghan for your cousin. So the stuff in that basket over there, there's not very much actually. I'd like to get it done. So we'll see. We're going to work on it. Okie dokie. Do you have anything pressing in your life that you would like to accomplish?
I need to make sure I have enough, continue to have enough firewood to burn to keep our house warm. My hand keeps reminding me that it hurts. So I have to
go to the chiropractor?
I don't know what I need to do. I need to be 10 years younger, so
is it the hand that you burned? Or,
no.
Or is
the
it
one
from the chainsaw?
The one that had been hurting.
How do you motion chainsawing? Oh, that.
I don't motion.
You don't motion chainsawing.
Mostly, I'll probably just hold my hands and make the sound.
It's kind of like the power drill. It's just the. Okay, moving along to I'm proud of yous, because we are proud of me's for these. I finished, though I have not woven any ends yet, and this will be a holiday present for the person sitting next to me. It is a headband. What's like an ear warmer? Kind of hat, minus the hat. So that you can wear it during said chainsawing.
Yes, I requested it.
Would you have to try it on?
I would. It was funny when I went out and I chainsawed the other day, you offered that I could wear it.
And you said no.
And I said no. And then I was out there, and after a while I thought I should have worn the headband. My ears are cold.
So, in talking about the headband, I asked you if I could make you something. And what did you say?
I said I would like a headband.
And what did I say?
To keep my ears warm when I'm chainsawing.
Mm-hmm. What did I say?
You said, I can make you a hat!
And what did you say?
I said, what you always do is I ask you for something, and then you make me something completely different, and then you get upset that I never like the things that you make for me.
Mm-hmm. So what did I make you this time?
A headband, which is exactly what I asked for, and I think will be perfect for chainsawing in the cold. Though now it's going to be so cold, I'm going to want a whole hat. But
it's true. And what colors is it?
It is green and yellow because I like the A's.
And what kind of jacket do you wear it with?
A 49ers jacket.
Why?
Which is red and black. Because I like the 49ers. Stupid 49ers. That's what I say when they lose. I said
you frequently
stupid 49ers
say the same thing when they win.
I don't usually call them stupid when they win.
True.
I just usually get mad at them for not being better.
That's true. So the other thing that I finished this week were the Croc socks for my mom that I showed you last week. And they've been put in the mail and have wung their way, They have flown via postal service to California. And they should be there soon. Though they have not arrived yet. We'll see when they get there. The other thing I'm proud of, everything is mailed. All the prezzies for all the peoples in the West have gone.
That's never happened before. We've never been on time.
I know.
With actual presents. One year we were on time, but I just threw a bunch of crap in a box because Kendra wasn't home.
And half of it broke.
Like,
a bunch of people never got their gifts because apparently the person who got the broken package couldn't figure out. Yeah, there really wasn't
that much that broke. That was user error on the other side.
Okay, so what else did I finish? Oh, I made the commission capes. 2 capes and 2 masks for his coworkers' kids, and they were super duper cute. And I have finished my kids' stuff, basically. A little bit finished tonight, but yeah. You shall see that all next week. Did you do anything this week that you're proud of?
I'm proud that I kept the house warm with firewood.
Is that going to be your answer to everything?
I finished my training at work. That was good. That I was behind on. I won the Super Bowl in Madden.
You did something else. Oh, you made... Well, I guess you finished it a little. You made your parents' Christmas present. I made my parents'
Christmas present.
What is it?
It is a sign that says, "Welcome to Grammy and Grandpa's house." Or it just says Grammy and Grandpa's house.
And it's like Dremeled out the letters, and then they're all painted, and it's all stained.
Then I stained the wood and painted in the carving and sealed it so that they could hang it outside if they so chose.
Yeah. By the way,
I Christmas shopped for you, or birthday shopped for you. That was good. I got that accomplished.
Because my show notes are over here this week as opposed to on the screen. Because I thought on the screen would confuse him the way I usually do it. So that's why I keep looking over here. Anyways, my will I procrastinate or will I prioritize? So I was not quite done with our children's presents. But I needed something I could make in front of them. And I was looking at some stuff online. Oh, I was starting to do more forum stuff this week. And in one of the forums on Ravelry, I had come across, anyways, just like an I Love Red Heart forum. And I make lots of stuff with Red Heart, as you know. And then I found out that they do a knit and crochet along every month. And that anybody that actually gets the thing done by the end of the month and posts the picture gets in the drawing for, like, the giant bag of yarn. And I thought, I like giant bags of yarn. I should enter that. So I went and I saw what their crochet along was for the month. And I put the pattern right here. So the crochet along one is actually a Lion Brand pattern for a market bag. Whoop. Looks like that. And I thought, hey, that'll be easy. I can totally get that done. So in about an evening, I've gotten this far. I did this little bit, the bottom, and now I'm going to put a gray stripe in it and then finish the top off in the purple as well. I think, though I don't know, I'm looking at it, I might do the top in white, we'll see, but I think the purple would be, I don't have to worry about it getting dirty that way. But purple goes over well around here, so I might sell this eventually, but we'll see.
So if I thought of it, I'm proud of you, do I go back, or did I miss my chance? Is it gone? Are we on to whips and...
No. You can go back. What are you proud of?
I made you fudge.
Oh, you did.
2 types. And I made more cookies with the kids. Mm-hmm. I feel like I made something else with them, but I don't remember what it was.
You made 2 kinds of cookies. You made candy cane cookies?
Well, yeah, that was a while ago. That wasn't this week.
And you made... Really?
Yeah.
You still have candy cane cookies? Not
well, yeah, they were the ones that burned.
Oh, they burned, yeah.
Maybe that was this week. I guess that was probably on Wednesday.
Yeah, I think you made these things since I podcasted last. So anyways, market bag for the Red Heart crochet along. And then last night I was starting to like think about things for the podcast and whatever. And I had this ball of yarn that I got in a swap package I did this year. And it was from a woman in Australia. And the brand is Bendig Woolen Mills. I could not find it on, the yarn search on Ravelry. Because I wanted to know what people had made out of it. Because I didn't know what to make out of it. And I was going to make, like, a scarf. Because I don't like any of my scarves anymore. Because I haven't made them. And I feel like if I go out, people have the expectation that any kind of yarny bit I'm wearing, I have made myself. And I would not want them to think that some of the cheaply made Target scarves that I have are my own concoction.
I can see how that would be a problem.
So basically now I just don't wear a scarf when I go out that often, even if I'm a little cold.
It really hasn't been that cold this year.
It really hasn't been scarf weather in the way it has been in years past. But anyways, so I was trying to figure out what to make with this, and then I decided I was going to make this hat. So I found a hat pattern that I liked, and it is another Drops design pattern. It's called the Ronnie hat. And don't drop everything, Kendra. Okay. So it looks like this. And it has, you can't really see the little design. It has like a fold up brim, and the brim has like these little pointy bits of like fan stuff in them. And I thought it was cute, and so I was gonna make it. And when I started working with the wool, I was actually really glad that I didn't make it into like a scarf or a cowl or something, because it's a little scratchy. And I don't know if it's the wool content. I think it actually has bamboo in it. And I kept thinking there was a lot of veg matter in the wool, and then I was looking at it closer, and I think it's bamboo fragments. So I think it'll be good for a hat, but obviously I'm not going to use this all up on a hat, so I don't know what I'm going to do with the leftovers of this. But yes, I'm working on the hat, and then we'll see what I do with the rest of it, but it's pretty cute. I liked it. So I made it a little big accidentally, kind of, but then I decided that I think it might be better that way, because I'm just about to put the brim on, and the brim then folds in, because then I think it'll fit potentially with my hair under it too, which would be a nice option to have when it is particularly chilly. But I've been really excited to use that yarn, because I've been looking at it and petting it and thinking out what to do with it for a while, so like busting into the cake was really fun, and it was like, I don't know. I don't know if it's particularly nice yarn because I do not live in Australia and I do not know the brand. But it felt like really nice yarn for me, who usually works with super duper cheap acrylic because, well, I'm kind of cheap. So, moving along to what I am reading. Oh, are you in progress on anything?
Can't think of anything.
Are there trees outside that need to
be cut down? There are actually some trees that need to be
Did you down some that you haven't cut?
There was one that had a downed limb, but it was still attached, so the other day I cut it so that it could start to dry. It was a fairly large limb. It was not the one that I almost whacked myself with.
You know, I worry that I'm boring on the podcast. I worry that we upped our boring quotient by doing this together.
Well, yes, I told you I'm unexcited.
Yes, he was trying to waste his exciting before I started recording, and I told him,
She told me I was not allowed to be entertaining until we were recording.
And he still hasn't turned it back on. I don't know why. So anyways, I'm still reading Anne of the Island. I actually had to renew the book because I thought I'd renewed it, and then I got the little, like, angry, you haven't renewed it notice. But luckily, our library doesn't fine.
That is nice.
That's why I stopped going to the other library, because they fine a lot, really quick. And they're grumpy puss over there. So we quit going to that library. And what else?
Let that be a lesson to any of you. If you're grumpy pusses, we're not going to come frequent your establishments.
So with the kids, I have been listening to an audio advent calendar from Sparkle Stories, read by David. Sparkle Stories at sparklestories.com. They say it at the end of every, I hope you enjoyed it. That's what they say at the end. And that's been going really well. The kids both asked for it, the two older ones. And there is a 12 Days of Christmas series they're releasing this year. And it's supposed to be like 6 hours of story. And I was hemming and hawing about whether I'm going to get it. And they're enjoying the Advent stories so much, I think I might. It's also been a good bribe.
We like bribes.
We're starting to turn to bribes a whole lot more.
The kids they're getting old enough to accept bribes.
Yeah. And I'm not above bribing. I don't bribe monetarily. But I will bribe with things like, oh, you can listen to a story, which is going to occupy you for 25 minutes. Do you all see my
What is Penelope doing
Penelope
back there?
is trying to get in. Oh. Okay, so these behind us...
Ah, there must be catnip.
All of our Christmas presents can't obviously be under our tree because our 1-year-old will attack them.
You should duck. Your head is blocking most of them. There you go. See, there they all are.
So this basket right behind me, that is all the presents from me and Steve for our family and our children. And the rest of them, other than this box right in the middle, the rest of them are from his parents. Overkill much? And there's another box over there, another basket full of them. But anyways, they sent presents for the cats, and I bet there is something cat good smelly over there.
I would agree.
And I thought it was going to be the children's I was going to have an issue with today getting into those baskets, but it might be the cats.
If they want the toy bad enough to tear into it, I'm kind of willing to let them do it because our cats never like toys.
That's true. They don't like toys. They don't like toys. They don't like treats. Our cats are,
Except for those little mice that Jezebel loved to shove under the couch.
Yeah. They like yarn, but not like they don't like to get into it, but they like little bits of it.
Mm-hmm.
The leftover bits. Which by the way, I stuffed something. Say what? I had a mason jar that I've been putting all my little bits in after I wove in ends and cut them off and stuff. And I had never used that to stuff a stuffy before. And I'd heard that it worked really well. And I used it, and it is the most amazing stuffing. So stuffing with yarn guts, good idea. So now I'm happily saving little scraps. Much happier than I was before because I know they're going to have a use. That's good.
And now we start the countdown till the podcast where you go, if you give it to your 2.5-year-old, he sits there and pokes his little fingers into the little holes and pulls all the little yarn bits out.
There are no little holes in said item.
Oh, okay.
I used a G-hook and my hands hurt, so there better not be any holes in that item.
They'll find a way.
Okay. So now on to what we've been watching. Well, I'll start with what I've been watching. With the children's, I've been watching Chuggington.
Chuggington.
Yes. Endlessly in our house. And Harry and his bucket of dinosaurs, which is kind of fun and exciting. It's been interesting, though, because our daughter keeps asking how they get in the bucket. And then last night, she finally realized that they were pretending to be in the bucket. Her brother seemed to understand that the whole time. She's like...
I doubt he understood it the whole time. He was probably just playing along.
He probably just never thought about the bucket
thing.
So
that it wasn't pretend.
Yeah. And then... Oh, I also started watching on YouTube another show from my youth called David the Gnome. I love David the Gnome. And... Oh, I was going to spoil it. Anyways, I love David the Gnome. He is a gnome doctor. And he rides on a horse, or on a fox named Swift. Sometimes they ride in a basket around a goose's neck. Him and his wife, Sarah. So me and the kids have been watching that.
Is she also a gnome?
Yes.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, she's also a gnome.
I assume she was, but then I thought it's not fair to make assumptions on interspecies relationships.
It's true. They live in a tree, in the roots of a tree. But yes, I've been watching that on YouTube, and that's fun. And our son was watching it with me, and he was really enjoying it. Because we started watching it the other day. Our daughter tested for Taekwondo for her next belt. So she is probably, we haven't found out yet, she's probably going to be a yellow belt come the new year. And I am going to begin Taekwondo as well. What is that face about?
I was smiling that you're announcing it.
I announced it. I talked about it before. I thought you watched the podcast.
I do. I don't remember you talking about it.
I talked about it in 5
Was it last week? I told you I hadn't watched last week's yet.
Maybe it was. I think it was 2 weeks ago, though, that I told the instructor that I was coming. But maybe not. Maybe it was last week's. I might have been just a little short on that. Things. We were very boring last week.
I wasn't part of it last week.
No,
I'm bored. Oh,
no, on the farm.
Oh,
we were very boring around here. We were
I'm
just
boring every week. Yes.
Nose to the grindstone, getting things done. Okie dokie. So together, we are still watching Top Chef Boston. What do you think of Top Chef Boston?
I like it, except Padna's mean.
And
for no reason.
Then we started watching The Wolf of Wall Street.
And you did not like it enough to keep watching. You watched the first hour and stopped.
Yeah, and then I decided that it was not improving my life in any way, shape, or form. And, yeah.
And I'm about 20 minutes past that now. And
has your life been improved?
It really hasn't. I don't know. I thought I would at least finish it, and I may have lost interest.
And we've been watching a lot of Star Trek Next Generation this week. And who were we introduced to yesterday?
The Borg. Did I tell you when the Borg were in the movie First Contact? There's a woman who helps make the first hyperdrive, and she recognizes that Borg sounds Swedish, and so being that is similar to our last name, we figured out that it's like my great niece is going to help invent the hyperdrive.
Oh, your family figured
Yes, our family figured that out. I'm sorry.
Got it.
Those of us that are Swedish.
No, you said the woman that invented the hyperdrive. I thought you meant in real life.
No, because you thought the hyperdrive was really invented.
I was trying to figure out what a hyperdrive was. That was my next question for you when you were done telling me.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask what is a hyperdrive, Steve?
It's the thing that makes spaceships go faster than the speed of light.
Oh.
In fictional...
So if they can go at, like, warp a bajillion...
Warp 9.6 was the highest they've announced.
Why don't they just go that fast all the time?
The same reason you don't drive your car 120 all the time. Safety, fuel efficiency.
You just feel like they could get places a lot faster.
They never seem to have a shortage of being places.
They never seem to have a shortage of getting there fast either. Whenever they want to, like, crank up the gas, they seem to have no problem with that.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. Podcast.
I'll mention that to you the next time you're not driving 120. I'll go, we could get there a lot faster if you'd be driving with your gas pedal all the way on the floor.
Well, no, but I just mean that they're in the little ship, and their ship is in the middle of nowhere with nothing around it. So it's not like they can mine more minerals like they do on your little StarCraft game.
But they have to navigate through, like, stars and planets and stuff.
Yes, that's true. I don't know.
Something's going on when they're driving. They're not just all sitting there waiting for it to come out of hyperdrive.
I guess that's true.
I know Captain Picard is just sitting there doing nothing, but the rest of them are actually working.
But there's minions.
Yes. Well, it's not even minions. It's Data and Wesley Crusher.
What is Wesley Crusher doing?
Acting ensign. Yeah.
I know.
He's driving the ship. It's a little calm.
How?
By pressing the buttons. Hello?
I don't know.
She has not spent nearly enough time thinking this stuff through.
I haven't. No, I have not been quite sucked into the whole Next Generation thing the same way. He grew up in a family that loves Star Trek and continues to love Star Trek, and I watched it on occasion. But I did start watching Deep Space Nine and, like, really, really liked it. Would find reasons to finish watching it. And Star Trek Next Generation hasn't done that for me yet. Potentially because it is a non-progressive plot line, and I like to binge watch things. And binge watching is best done when a plot continues and continues and continues. Which is why I like podcasts, because they're like endless. Well, hopefully endless, because, otherwise it's not good. But yeah, people's lives just go on, and so then I get to keep hearing about them every week, except everybody's taking breaks for the holidays, which is really getting in the way of my podcast watching.
Except us. We apparently are getting paid extra. Our salaries tripled for this podcast.
Yeah, you're getting holiday pay right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we will. We're going to have treats here momentarily.
Well, I like treats.
Once I'm done with the usual business, we're going to have treats. So, in podcasts that I watched this week...
So I don't get to say what I was watching? Oh, you were talking about the podcast you were going to watch.
Yeah, and then I'll let you talk about them. Because I have exciting news about podcasts I was watching. It is exciting.
Okay, go ahead.
So yesterday, I was on YouTube, and then I saw that The Naughty Knitter had posted another episode, and I was kind of like... I've been waiting for more podcasts to come out that day, because I'd exhausted my supply. So I turned it on, and I was all excited to see Patricia and what she was doing. And then I remembered that her hat crochet along, knit along, whatever along was over, and that she was going to draw for prizes. Can you tell by the excited voice what happened? I won! Yay!
You! Her!
Me!
Not somebody else!
Me! I won for a beard hat that I made for my brother-in-law. And, so I am going to be receiving in the mail here shortly my very first, and my one and only, official project bag. Because otherwise, I use these. I got a whole mess of these from Oriental Trading for our second son's luau, and we, painted names on them and stamped them and stuff. And the nice thing about Oriental Trading is things are inexpensive. The bad thing is I have, 140 of these.
And we know, 6 kids that might come to a party.
Yeah. So I had like a drawer full of these hanging out. And they're like too cheapy, I think, to sell. Like, so I couldn't do anything to them and sell them as like a base thing. So I just had all these bags and then I started crocheting. And so now there's lots of projects in them. Albeit they are not ideal, but we have them already. So I do not own any of the fancy schmancy stuff I see all on everybody else's podcast. But I'm going to be receiving a beautiful bag made by the Naughty Knitter. And yeah, you'll all get to see that when I have it. And it's going to have trees on it. I was telling Patricia when I emailed her back that it was exciting because you know what I miss about Trinity County?
The smell.
Oh, I did smell good. Sometimes. It smells good here, though. So that's not really a problem. But the big, giant trees. You don't have big, giant trees in Kansas.
No.
We have trees. Some people make second enemy trees. We have lots of trees. They're all just like hedgerow trees. They're not like giant conifers. Even our, evergreens are like little shorty cedars. But I guess they're a little less shorty when you're out trying to cut them down, huh?
Not the cedars necessarily. At least around us, the cedars are all fairly short. But there's some that are pretty tall if you pay attention.
But it's not the same.
It's not the same.
So it's exciting because she lives in Northern California where I used to live, and yeah, so I'm getting a tree bag. So also I was listening to JB's Fibercast on YouTube, and she a couple weeks ago was talking about how there's a questioner group from Angie's Hip that she answered, and then she put it out to other people to answer. And I'd seen it on her group, and I would have answered it there, but it's kind of a long question, and I didn't think it lent itself to answering in print. But I thought that we could discuss. So, what are your holiday traditions? What's on your table? How do you decorate? What songs are on your device or radio? And do you play games? Would you like to go first?
No, go ahead.
So, what are our holiday traditions?
We have coffee cake in the morning.
Yes, we have coffee cake in the morning. We kind of blended our holiday traditions when we got married. Because your family always used to go and look at Christmas lights and eat pizza on Christmas.
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yes. Oh, that's part of it. My family always celebrated Christmas on Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day was my birthday. Well, I say always as in once I came around, because then Christmas became my birthday. Though my dad's side of the family always kind of celebrated Christmassy stuff on Christmas Eve because, well, it is my uncle's birthday. Oh, tomorrow's my uncle's birthday. Oh, gotta remember that email. But yeah.
And he's retired now.
I know. It's my uncle's birthday, and so, like, the families and the farms around here would all kind of come by the house on Christmas Eve and, like, give a hello and do their Christmassy bits with each other, and then Christmas Day, they'd all go to church and then hang out with their immediate families. And that is why my family started eating chili soup on Christmas Day, because they'd always have some on the stove, so when people would come by, they could have chili soup here. Did you know that?
Yes, you told me that.
We now live in the house of the chili soup. We own the house of the chili soup.
Yes, we do.
Weird.
We bought the farm.
We didn't kick the bucket. So,
it's so funny to us. Everybody else probably thinks this sounds stupid.
I know, but every time we say it, yeah. So, our holiday traditions are we celebrate Christmas, and we celebrate it secularly, which means like ho ho ho, except we don't play Santa here. And we do my birthday on the 25th. And then what's on our table? What kind of yummy, delicious? So we have coffee cake in the morning.
Pizza for lunch.
Pizza for lunch. Homemade pizza.
Homemade pizza. And then I go to sleep because I've pretty much worked for the past...
Yeah, every year you work on Christmas. Because you know what happens when you work on Christmas?
You get paid more.
They pay you more. And, yeah, since I think that all holidays can be time-shifted, the only holidays that are kind of, like, actually on a particular day is your birthday, because you can prove what day you were born. But even that, I don't know, leap years and such, it kind of moves. But yeah, all holidays can be time-shifted. So, yeah.
Well, and we seem to have been able to get stuff done.
Yeah.
In between.
Yeah, we get stuff done, and it also means that our holiday, like, celebrating doesn't just, like, drag on and on until everybody gets cranky. It's like, there's an end point, because this is bedtime for dinner.
Yes.
And then we can go on and have a normal night, and then the kids go to sleep much more normally, which is nice.
It gives them time to cool down.
Yeah. And how do you decorate?
This year, not at all.
Well, we put up the tree so that we weren't bad parents.
Yes. Normally we decorate. We put up the ornaments around the room.
Yeah, we don't put our ornaments on the tree because I don't think you can see them well enough.
And the cats knock them down and break them.
That too, because our cats climb our artificial tree. But yeah, so we string like yarn usually across hooks around the interior of our walls, and then we hang all of the pretty ornaments on that, and then just balls go on the tree. That way, if they break,
they're easily replaceable.
Yeah.
And we hang the angels that Auntie sent us across the room.
Yeah, my aunt makes these ribbon angels, and so we hang like a beaded chain across the room, and then little angels fly in the sky. And this year, everything's in a box.
And we get out the snow people that our kids murder.
Yeah, my aunt, same one that made the angels, bought these snow people. They're like stuffed and like the size of a small child. And at the time, we did not have
like a
children.
2.5-year-old.
Yeah, but now we have children, and our children love the snow people. They love them to death because they hug them and they squeeze them, and the stuffing is coming out, and like. The last year we got them out, every time I walked in the room, there were just, like, snow people parts all over, and, like, they needed chalk lines, and, yeah. So, the snow people. I think did I not?
Well, I thought one of them got thrown away.
I thought one of them did not make it past last year.
It was just pieces.
Yeah, it was not good. And what songs? Do we have particular holiday songs?
Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Because we have a reindeer that rocks and sings Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
It should rock and sing the song. Its batteries are dying.
Because our kids play it incessantly.
So it sings half the song and then it dies. I think it is potentially self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Because it's very annoying.
I think it's just tired. It's an inanimate object, but it is tired.
Yeah. And do we play games?
Some.
We used to.
Yeah.
Games are a lot of work now. Especially, like, to get everybody to focus on not only presents and stuff. But...
Right. I think that'll become more a part of our life later.
Yeah. Because that's the funny thing about Christmas. When you are non-religious, as we are, Christmas is primarily about gifts. And exchanging gifts.
And decorating.
I guess theoretically it's about like hanging out with your family, but we have orchestrated our life so that every day is Christmas here. Every day we spend all that time with our kids and each other that most people only do on Christmas.
And then it's always funny when we talk to other adults after Christmas. They talk about the 3 days that they spent with their kids.
And how they can't,
and how they don't understand how they do it. It's like, no, we do that every day.
Yeah,
we're that dumb.
What are we talking about today? About if you keep banging your head against the wall, you think you'd get a better helmet?
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
But our helmet has not improved.
No. We just keep banging our head against the wall.
So, Steve.
Yes.
What podcast do you listen to?
I listen to...
what kind of podcast?
Mostly I listen to sports podcasts.
And that's listen, right? Not watch. Like, this is on YouTube. Yes. This is a video podcast thing.
Yes.
You listen to audio podcasts.
Correct. I listen to the best of the Tony Kornheiser show.
Tony.
Which plays on the actual show plays on ESPN 980 in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. And even though I live in Barnes, Kansas, I like listening to their local radio sports show.
Do you always like to know what the weather's going to be
like? And how
is your commute going to turn out?
Yes.
Does Nigel do the traffic? What does Nigel do?
Nigel's the producer. It's
because I know we got a letter from Nigel.
Yes, once when I emailed. And I actually have my email read on their show once, which is even funnier that I live in Barnes, Kansas, and had an email read on a local Washington radio station.
So if you live in Washington and would like your email read from Barnes, Kansas, feel free to email me and I will read it on my podcast. Then you can play it over and over like we did.
I also listen to the Grantland NFL podcast, and I listen to the BS Report, and I listen to the Around the Horn podcast, and I listen to the Dan Le Batard Show podcast, and I listen to Dan Le Batard is Highly Questionable.
Oh, are they two different things?
Yeah, he has a radio show and a TV show. And so
is Poppy on both?
No, not on that. He appears on the radio show, but he is not a regular on the radio show.
So are the interviews as good on the radio show? Because Poppy does really good interviews.
He does do good interviews. And yes, they are good, but they're different. It was funny.
Does he ask people how they got engaged?
Last night. Well, no, he doesn't do that, but he calls people out on stuff. Like yesterday, he was doing an interview, and he had Brett Favre on, and he was driving his car, like his GPS was talking to the background, and he kept getting mad at him. He was like, "You should not be driving." He's like, "Okay, hand the phone to somebody else, and we will talk to them while you figure this stuff out. I'm not going to interview you while you're distracted."
Well, we can just chalk that up to one more reason that Brett Favre is not my favorite football player.
No. And then I watch the Such Nice Work podcast once a week.
Apparently you don't, though, because you are behind.
It's not my fault that
you had 4 days off.
Yes.
Because you listen to all of these while you're at work overnight.
Yes, that is correct. Trying to think. Oh, I listen to the NFL Today podcast on ESPN. And then every day I think, I don't know why I listen to this. And then I listen to it again the next day.
Well, if you would like some Yarmy goodness to listen to instead, just let me know. And I can hook you up with something more entertaining.
Sounds good.
Because the football season's about to end.
It is about to end. That
you might have
true.
to listen about the NBA.
Or
you could just turn it off and have silence. You can turn the sound back on your video games.
And then... trying to think. I feel like I switched to something. Oh, I listened to the Dave Dameshek football program at NFL.com. And then I always think I should listen to the Around the League podcast, and I never do. It's another NFL.com podcast. Everybody says it's really good, and I never remember to listen to it. I've kind of got my routine established, and it's hard to work new things in.
8 weeks ago, you had that fabulous new, approximately hour-long program.
I know, once a week, that kind of helped fill my extra time.
It threw things off a little.
And I try and remember to watch some of my shows when I run out of podcasts, but I usually forget. Now that at work, they took away the speakers on our computer, so it's just like the monitor speakers, and they don't turn up very loud. And so most.
So what you're saying is we should speak up for people that are having a similar issue.
Yes. Earlier today, I was thinking, do you ever hear our kids and think, I could have married one of those quiet men that don't have incredibly loud voices they can't control?
I live in a family of people with incredibly loud voices they can't control, and I have incredibly good hearing. Like, I can hear people blink kind of hearing. And, there's a lot of noise in my house. It makes a lot of noise in my head. So, are you ready to move along?
Sure.
To the birthday celebration?
I'm ready.
Okie dokie.
Are you ready?
I am.
Are you ready to be 30? You're going to be out of your 20s.
I know. Isn't that...
You're going to be in your 30s. Like, you can't claim you're young anymore.
So, I have 3
I think
kids.
we officially lose our designation as the kids.
Yeah, maybe. So, when I was 15 and we started dating, you were not around on my 15th birthday.
No.
But on my 16th... Oh?
Yes,
yeah, it was my 16th birthday.
You had a party.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know you came over. I shared my birthday with Amy that year.
Mm-hmm. I came over on your birthday, though. Your actual birthday that year.
Yes, you did. It was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think your family was happy about it.
Probably.
But did you think that you would witness my 30th? No?
No.
No?
No.
You didn't think it would be like this?
No.
Oh. Well, what are we eating?
Rice Krispie treats and Jell-O blocks, because it's your birthday.
I
have to get them?
Well, it's my birthday.
I was the one that put them on the plate. There you go. For you. Happy birthday. I'd sing you the song, but I can't afford it.
So, we used to go to Chevy's, which is a Mexican. Oh, I picked strawberry banana. I forgot. I thought these tasted funny, but I realized they weren't supposed to be strawberry.
We live in a strange world.
Well, and they're a different brand of gelatin than we have been getting. They taste different.
They didn't make it to the Jell-O aisle. I've already had some.
I feel special now.
Well, if you end up with like a little bit of it, are you not gonna eat it?
Not on your birthday.
If you believe that, stand on your head.
That's what you do. It's not a good idea.
This is good TV right here.
What was I gonna say? I had a thought, and it was a good one too.
Was it about me eating your Jell-O?
No.
Was it about?
Oh, it's when we used to go to Chevy's, and they just sing the "Happy, Happy Birthday" from the Chevy's crew. We wish it was our birthday so we could party too. Hey!
Cease and desist. Oh.
Though that one's not owned by anybody. They sing a similar one at Red Robin sometimes too. But anyways, I get that song randomly caught in my head.
I do too.
And I don't know why. I think it's because I wish it was my birthday so I could party too and eat this. So I sing that a lot. Would you like another one before I put the plate down? Because we are going to talk about my 30th birthday goal. So I have two. The first thing that I would like to do while I'm 30. Well, first, we'll talk about the yarn first. So first, I would like to use 30 complete skeins of yarn in my 30th year. And we discussed this. And what was your response about using 30 skeins?
I said, do it.
I thought you said that wasn't very much.
Oh, I did say that wasn't very much.
You said that doesn't seem like a very big goal. And I said the big goal portion of it was I want to use the entirety of 30 skeins. Like, use up my extras. No little bits hanging around for when I say that. No,
she said this before she learned she could put bits as a stuffy.
I know. So as soon as I figured that out, I was like, score! My 30 skeins are totally getting used now. But no, I will try and use them for other useful things first till I get to a small enough amount that they can be used for nothing but stuffing. Most of the stuffing comes from when I clip ends after I weave them in. So anyways, I also have come up with a list of 30 things that I would like to complete while I am 30, somewhat following the normal format of my show. So I have thought of 5 things in 6 categories. And I came up with at least 4 of them, and Steve is coming up with 1 in each category, except some of the categories he might have been a fail on. In which case, I will come up with 1.
That's such a harsh word to use.
What word would you prefer?
Couldn't come up with one.
That's not a word. Single word.
Missed.
Oh, he was a miss on, not a fail. A miss.
A miss.
So.
Well, like, one of them I got cheated on because I had an idea and then I looked at her list and she had put it down.
Oh! Which one? Because I could...
Plant the tree.
Oh! Wait, on that one, the 5 things on the farm, I was going to make you do all 5. And then I didn't.
Well, yes, I understand you're going to make me do all 5, but you are going to come up with those things.
That's true. So anyways, we are going to go through my list of 30 things to do while I'm 30. So, we are going to start with UFOs, unfinished objects that I need to finish. Not all of them yarn related. So the first thing that I would like to finish is this quilt that I started for my mom for Christmas a couple of years ago. And I need to get a move on it because I would like to make sure that she gets it. And since my mother is
in her lifetime?
Yeah, my mom is not well. And yeah, so if I would like her to receive the quilt and thus not make the quilt a sad thing, but a happy thing for me, I need to finish it. But first I need to get my machine fixed so that I can quilt it.
She says it so nicely. The way she really said it is, I have to finish it because if I haven't finished it and she dies, then it's just going to sit in a drawer the rest of my life and I'm never going to be able to do it.
That's true. Because I also, like, with canned goods, we have some, like, jams and stuff from her, and we're trying to eat through them because I don't want them to become things that can never go out of my pantry. So we are enjoying them while we can.
And to be fair, she is not well, but we're not, like, going off a timeline or anything.
No. But she is unwell. So, I also, the backing is already, like, it's got Harry Potter, it's got Hedwigs on it. And white. And it's already seamed together. Everything is ready. I made this to give to them for Christmas 2 years ago. I think we only had one kid at the time. I think 3 years ago. Anyways.
And that would be 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah. I had it all done, ready. It just needed to be quilted. Never got around to it. Time for me to get around to it. The second thing I'd like to finish is the fingerless mitts that I was working on for myself because my handsies have been getting cold and I would like fingerless mitts. The third...
Then her fingers will start getting cold, then she'll have to make full-fingered mitts.
Well, but I can't crochet in full-fingered mitts. So, I'll have to work something out. The Afghan for your cousin needs to get finished this year, preferably.
I agree.
Soon, because, yeah.
Their second anniversary's coming up soon.
And it's their wedding present. Not that I started it before their wedding. They'd already gotten married when I decided to make it, because, I didn't crochet yet when they got married. Oh, I started making them a quilt. I had the quilt like 2/3 done. And then quilting became very difficult with the children around and leaving stuff out. So like this, I think I can finish because it's all together. I just need to quilt it. And I think I can do that okay with them around. It's the piecing of quilts because small pieces of fabric and pins like to go missing. And then the fourth thing I'd like to finish is actually like the second or third project I started ever when I learned to crochet. This is the book I taught myself how to crochet about. Crochet out of. I can't believe I'm crocheting. Which I bought in high school and then it sat in a drawer for like
10 years.
10 years. Okie dokie. Is this the... Oh. This is a magazine. Has the pattern of what I'm making, if I can find it. Ooh, there's several things here. I hadn't flipped through this one. It's a crochet world.
I was sure you're looking down at it. I realized I need to make sure I don't look down on it so everybody won't know my hair is thinning.
So, it's this thing in the top corner. The jungle ring set. And I started making it with the intent to give it to our son for his first birthday. And I have... What? It's so funny by itself, I know.
It is. Then we're going to have to put the explicit tag on it now.
So this is the little base. You're supposed to use like a foam cone, but I thought that they might impale themselves on it, so I just stuffed it with fiberfill, but that means it's a little wonky. There's that, and then there's like all of these. Oh, I did finish the top. That's right. And so this is like the top of the tree. It's pretty adorable, actually. And then there's some little rings that go on it that are of different animals. And I'm in process. I have all the parts to do the giraffe. And then there's like 3 more animals, I think, that I need to make. But I'm kind of putting this off because since this was my second project, I'm a whole lot better than I was when I started making it. So I don't know if it's going to turn out now. I may have to just remake it all. I'm going to try just making the pieces to fit with this, but I know my gauge has changed, and I already look at it and my quality standards have changed. So, but I'm going to finish it this year. And what is the 5th unfinished object I'm going to finish, Steve? What would you like for me to finish?
I don't know because I don't know what you have unfinished. So it's hard for me to finish the birthday banner.
Oh,
ha.
That's a good one.
Gotcha.
I noticed the Y is starting to peel off because I've never stitched it on.
Mm-hmm.
So I will finish the birthday banner this year.
There it is.
I like that one. Good job.
Thanks.
I couldn't have thought of that one on my own. Okay, so now we're on to things to make for me. So I want to make this. It's called Lisa's Shawl. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. Boop. There it is. See it? There it is. So the Lisa Shawl is a fingering weight shawl. I think it says you can use any weight, but this is using soft weight yarn. I think actually all the things I want to make for me, one of them is worsted. But most of them, I think, are going to be at a fingering weight yarn because it's not something I've really worked with, but I would like to. But anyways, this has a mess of beads on it, like every, like stripey doodle of the repeat has beads, and I have tons of beads because I used to bead a lot. And I would love to make myself like a super duper beaded shawl. And so this one is going to be it. I think I'm going to make it like black or in like blackish tones and then just use like all different colors of beads.
Now, is that what you plan on entering in the fair?
I think it might be. But we're going to talk about fair entries maybe next week. I'm going to try and think of what I'm going to do for the fair. But
you really should wait 2 weeks because then it's into 2015 and legal.
Well, no, I was going to plan so I could start.
Oh, on January 1st.
No, but you know that you can start as soon as the fair is over. Anything that I make after June of 2014 is fine. Because the 4-H year is summer to summer. Okay. But do you like this one?
Mm-hmm. Do you?
Mm-hmm. That's why I picked it. But a lot of times I pick patterns and you go, oh, you're not going to like that. Or, oh, that's not going to look good on you. But I thought this would be fun and functional-ish. And
sounds good.
It would be something I could probably try and wear to like craft shows and stuff and be like interesting, artsy looking. Am I artsy looking? I don't know. I need to cut my bangs or something. Anyways, the second thing I want to make is called what?
I just thought enter hair suggestions in comments below. If you know what to do with Kendra's hair,
yeah, my suggestions.
Please let us know.
Hair suggestions. You would get some. Oh,
She's not very nice.
I like your hair. What's left of it? No. So anyway,
there's lots of it there. Look at the screen.
I see the screen. So is the Leona, another Drops design pattern, and it is a vest kind of thing, like a vested tunic, and then it is made out of like fans and shells. And I had seen some of the pictures of some of the completed projects, and people were saying that this was really, really long, and they were complaining about it. But I actually would like that in the vest, because we've been talking about how I would look good in longer tunic-y style things. So my hope is this will actually be longer, something that I can make longer, that I could wear over like leggings or tighter bottoms and like a tank top or a long sleeve shirt. So, the Leona. What color do you think I should make it?
I don't know. Black. You like black.
But I want to wear black underneath it, so I think this needs to be a color. Maybe I'll make it in purple. Or like a burgundy, like this color. That'd be kind of pretty.
So is that good? Going to be one you could market as well?
You mean if I don't look good in it, that I could sell it?
Well, no, I thought more that if you did look good in it, that you could sell it. Because then you could wear it and make one. So that when everybody went, wow, that looks really nice.
I could sell it.
Can I buy one? You could go, yes, I have one right here.
Well, I'd have to check. The thing with doing garments like this is this could be an awful lot of work.
Yeah.
And people might not be willing to pay.
I agree. The amount that it's worth.
That's part of the reason why I make things out of cheap yarn, usually on a thicker, bulkier side, because people are willing to pay for that. And people that are willing to have really nice, expensive yarn, make it themselves.
Correct.
Okay, so the third thing to make for me is another vest, because we're talking about tunic. When I looked at the tunic patterns on Ravelry, most of the things I found that I liked were like vests. Plus, I thought that would be good because I could cross the seasons in Kansas with that, because I can wear them with a tank top for like spring and fall, and then longer sleeve shirts as it got cold. Or even some of these I could wear, like this one, I could wear a sweater underneath and then wear this on the top. And ironically, these are mostly free patterns, were just the ones I liked. This was put out by Simply Soft, I think, from the Karen website, but it came from like one of those archived sites. But it looks like this. There it is. And it's got like a bunch of cables on it. I think I want to do this out of like gray, out of that the tweed that I made my sister's cowl out of. Okay. The gray tweed. Did you like that? Mm-hmm. Like the yarn? I thought that might be nice in a cabled thing. Do you like this tunic?
I think
what are your thoughts about the tunic?
I think that looks like a classier version of
my house coat?
Your house coat.
Of what my son calls my yarn robe. Mom, you made a yarn robe. Which made me laugh, because on the Stockinette Zombies, they were commenting that one of their sons called a sweater they made a yarn shirt. And my son walks around and finds anything that I make and goes, Mom, you made a yarn hat. Mom, you made a yarn whatever. You made a yarn robe.
So. He also picks up whatever he can find. He goes, I crochet too.
Yes, he likes to grab hooks and yarn and say that he's crocheting. He also tried to crochet with the stick to their triangle. Looks an awful lot like a crochet hook, and he was trying to poke it into a ball of yarn and tell me he was crocheting. It was quite adorable.
I bet.
So yes, that's the third thing. The fourth thing, it is hard to find mystery crochet alongs. There's lots of mystery knit-alongs, and the ones that I have seen are mostly for toys, and you can crochet things that are not amigurumi. So I found that Rose City, which I think is based out of Portland, is that right? Anyways, that they are doing a yarn crawl in March or April, March 5th through 8th, and that they are doing a mystery knit-along and a mystery crochet-along, 2 different patterns for shawls, and the shawl pattern had gone on sale on Ravelry. And they were opening up the stuff on December 5th, and the first clue comes out on the 28th of January. But it gives you time to get yarn. So I bought my pattern this morning. What?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And so it's for the Rose Trellis Shawlette. And so I bought my my pattern, and I'm going to have to find myself some yarn. Sock or fingering weight. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I was looking on Joann's, and because I kind of wanted something washable, which means that a lot of the indie dyers yarns are out. Plus they're expensive. But I don't know. I had an idea of what I was thinking I would do, yarn-wise, but I kind of need to look at it in person. So maybe I'll look next time where near Joann's, or maybe I'll just see it on a good sale online and buy it that way. And what's the 5th thing to make for me, Steve?
I don't know. This is the one that I missed on.
Okay. I'm going to make myself a fingering weight hat because I want to make all of these shawls, and several of them are out of fingering weight. And I have some fingering weight. I tried making myself a hat, but I was trying to hold it double to use it like a sport weight. And it said, do you know what fingering weight means? I realized.
I assume it's smaller yarn that you can...
It's like sock yarn.
Yeah.
Sock yarn is fingering weight.
That you can maneuver with your fingers easily.
Fingering hat. I don't know that it has anything to do with that part. It's just, that's what it's called.
It does in my world.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll make a fingering weight hat. And I already have some yarn that I've dug into, made a hat and frogged it. I'm going to make it into a new hat. Okay, so things to make for other people. First off, I have a nephew that is going to graduate from high school in May or June or whenever they do graduations. I don't know. Later.
Probably June because it's California.
Yeah. But I need to get started because an Afghan can be, a lot of commitment. So anyways, I want to make the Vortex Afghan. It is a free pattern from the Karen website on Yarnspiration. And it's got these swirls in it. And I think I want to do it out of browns and blues. Because he's kind of beachy.
Yes. Do you think he'll let you wait until after the fair to give it to him so you could...
So I can enter it in the fair? Maybe. You mean like I should have done for my niece this year? Though
I don't know. You entered an Afghan.
I did. And the Afghan I made her was not worth winning in the fair. Not that the one I made won either.
It won second prize.
It did.
There was no first prize.
Yes, there was. There was that giant
That's right.
sunflower.
There was the sunflower one.
And it was... I figured out what they were looking for was to do everything perfectly, even if it was a less intricate pattern.
Yes, we did.
So she probably did... The one that won, I think, would have been like an easy, to maybe a low intermediate pattern. And what I did was higher. Was like an upper intermediate. Potentially low experienced. And so, which I was not, but that was what I picked to do. Why not, just jump right in, right?
Right.
When you start a new craft. So the second thing I need to make for other people, I need to make you some more boxers.
Yay! I like underwear.
Underwear?
Under my pants.
That's true. Because since you only wear the boxers I make you, And
I'm down to like 4 pairs.
I know. Well, a pair of them apparently gave up the ghost yesterday.
Yeah, it was a couple. It's been sitting on the couch for like a week, but
oh yeah, he threw a pair of boxers with a big hole in them apparently on top of my pile of project bags, and I assumed it was just laundry that had gone wayward. I didn't know that they were cold, so yeah. So I need to make you some new boxers. The next thing I would like to make is for your brother. I want to make him a Death Star pillow.
Death Star protein.
Because I think that he will think it's funny. And then the fourth thing for our kids, we've been doing that audio advent story. And I would like to make an advent calendar for us for next year. And I have an idea of how to do it. You know how Martin and Sylvia find all those yellow envelopes?
Mm-hmm.
I want to basically make squares and then crochet squares that then I can sew into envelopes and then attach them all together, so there'll be different colors of yellow and gold envelopes, and then each one will have stuff in them.
Cool.
And I might make them big enough that I can put like ornaments and then make like an ornament that matches each of the days of the Martin and Sylvia stories. I think we're going to listen to it every year. And wouldn't that be awesome?
I thought it would be funny to have the advent calendar activity for every day be listen to Martin and Sylvia.
That's funny. You know what would be even funnier is our kids would think it was great.
They would. They'd be excited. Can we go see what today is? Do we get to listen to Martin and Sylvia again today?
Yay! Yeah.
It'd be extra funny if you made like the 21st not listen to Martin and Sylvia and how upset they would be.
That's true. So, Steve, what is the fifth thing I need to make?
You need to make a lovey for our youngest.
For number 3.
To match the giraffe lovey of our middle and our bear lovey of our oldest.
So now, do you want to add a fabric or do you want it to be crochet?
Well, I think you could crochet, but I think you would need to fabric around the edges in some way, shape, or form.
I'll think about this. Maybe it'll have a crocheted head.
It could be.
Ooh, I could do crocheted head on a fabric body.
That would work.
Because he really likes to chew on the crocheted toys. Maybe we'll do that. Good deal.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
I like that one. Okay. On to things.
I'm good every once in a while.
On to things to read. The first thing I want to read this year, I want to read some of the Wizard of Oz books. So let's get started on that. Because I've always wanted to read them. Never have.
If she only had a brain.
A heart, a home. Yeah. And then the second thing I want to do is to cull our entire children's book collection. So everything you see on the shelves behind us, I want to read through them and get rid of all the junk. I don't know if there's a lot of junk in there.
There is.
Yeah. But I want to read through them all, and if I don't like the books, send them to homes where they will be enjoyed. Which is not here. Because it's great to have tons and tons of books, but it'd be good if there were tons and tons of books we want to read all of. And then the third thing I want to read a Maeve Binchy book. Because I like her books. I don't know which one. I need to see what they have at the library here. Yeah. She's had a lot that I haven't read. But she died a few years ago, so there's no longer, I kept worrying that more books in certain series were going to come out from her, and that I was going to miss them. But now I know there's no more books coming. Because I checked her website.
It just can't be.
And the fourth thing I want to read a book by Mercedes Lackey. Why?
Who's that?
My best friend in elementary school, one of them. Her favorite author was Mercedes Lackey. And she really liked these books. And I get the impression they are fantasy wizardy-ish books. But I have wanted to read one for 20 years and have not done it. And so I figure I should rectify that and read one. And maybe I'll really like it and maybe I won't be able to stand it. But then I can say I've read a Mercedes Lackey book and move on with my life. So, what's the fifth thing I'm going to read, Steve?
You need to read a Star Trek book. Because when you watched Deep Space Nine, you talked about how much you liked it and how you kept going on the Star Trek wiki. and reading about the different characters.
They have a continuation of Deep Space Nine.
And they kept referencing the different books. And you kept going, I can't read the books. I would just... Basically, she'd go, I can't read the books. I would like them too much. So...
I have to read them all.
You need to read a Star Trek book to find out, A, if you'd actually like them, and B, if you would want to continue reading them.
Good one. I like that. So on to things to watch. The first thing I need to watch is Weeds. Because we bought all the seasons of Weeds to watch. And we haven't watched them. But we've been looking for something to watch together, and I realized we have Weeds.
Yes.
So Weeds should be something we watch soon. In keeping with that theme, the second thing I need to watch is all of the DVDs we have that are still in their plastic films. If it's in a plastic film, I should watch it. Because I obviously bought it or somehow obtained it because I thought we would want to watch it. And if it is still in its plastic, I'm not watching it.
That is scientifically very accurate.
Well, no, because I have actually several movies I have thought about watching on Netflix and then realized we had the hard copy. I at least once have made myself watch the hard copy because I'm like, we have this. I don't care if it's streaming on Netflix. The third thing to watch is the usual high school rotation of movies we'd watch. Do you know what those include?
Dirty Dancing,
Mm-hmm.
When Harry Met Sally,
Mm-hmm.
and Wedding Singer.
Mm-hmm. And what's your movie that I need to watch from the high school rotation?
Wayne's World? Oh, Top Gun? Okay.
Yeah, that would be the
It
four high school movies. And then
we didn't watch them much.
You know, what should we do?
We were teenagers.
Well, but we watched them often
They were
enough.
on a lot.
We watched them often enough. I'm sure we saw all of the movies.
Several times.
Yes. So the fourth movie isn't really a movie. It's like a series that I think we should watch on Netflix. It's called Chasing Shackleton. And it is recreating this voyage to Antarctica that this Captain Shackleton and his crew took, and they like recreated it and kind of thought it might be like Deadliest Catch. Kind of, because they'd be all like in the Arctic on a boat, but then they get stuck on like an island, but it's put out by PBS, so it's got some tooth to it.
So if it's recreating somebody's journey, is it recreating Captain Cook's journey, in which the penguin from Mr. Popper's Penguins is named after?
No, it's okay. Captain Shackleton, as indicated by the Netflix.
Well, I thought you said he was the one that was doing this.
No, it's Captain Shackleton's thing that they're doing. So they are chasing Shackleton. They are trying to redo what he did.
I misunderstood.
So what is the fifth thing I'm going to watch?
Season 1 of House of Cards with me. I won't make you watch Season 2, but Season 1 you're on the hook for.
What if I like it?
If you like it, you can watch Season 2.
Oh, so it's not like I can't watch Season 2.
No, you are allowed to watch Season 2. But I think you would legitimately enjoy Season 1. I don't know that you would enjoy Season 2.
I could sign up for that. Okay, so then, things on the Funny Farm. The first thing that I would like to do is paint the water filter cabinet. We built this cabinet, our water filter and coffee pot and cookbooks and recycling and all that stuff is on it. And it's not painted. And it gets wet when we overfill the water filter. And I don't want to ruin it. It's actually, you can see it in this doorway right there. That's it.
That's the side.
That's the side of it. And I would like to paint it so that it doesn't get ruined. And by I mean potentially you. No, I can do it.
Yeah, you're on the hook for painting it.
The second thing, I would like to have 26 poetry tea times in my 30th year. A poetry tea time is a concept by, I want to say her name is Julie Bogart, but that could be wrong. But she wrote Brave Writer, which is a homeschool writing curriculum. Way to be sly in getting your Jell-O block. But she has this concept called a poetry tea time where you sit down as a family and you have a treat and you set aside time to read poems together. And yeah, it's fun. We were doing it for a while and then we kind of stopped. And I like treats and I like poems. So I figured 26 means we only have to do it once every other week. I figure we can pull out 2 a month, right?
Mm-hmm.
worst case scenario on, like, your days off, we have them 4 days in a row. Or whatever.
Well, that would be if you just do one on my days off. I have days off every other week.
Yeah.
So that would be 26 for the year.
Yeah.
Well, you said you could do them 4 days in a row.
Oh,
but
yeah. No, I just meant like if I got backed up,
yes.
we could do them like that. Okay.
I recommend more fiber for that.
I put up with this every day.
Every day.
So then...
There's no act here. This is what I'm like.
The third thing is to plant number 3's apple tree. Each of our children, we saved their placentas after their birth. And...
Because you grew that too.
I grew that too. I say that after each one comes out. I go, I grew that too.
I'm taking it with me.
They sent it home from the hospital with me after number 3. I ended up having a C-section, but they sent it home with me in like a freezer
bag.
The midwives at the birthing center where I had my first and my home birth here wrapped the placenta in more like hazardous wasty kind of things, more things that made it look like, hello, you're carrying a placenta home or to the freezer. But then they let me walk out of the hospital with like my lunch, but it was a placenta.
I don't even think it was frozen.
It wasn't. It had been in the fridge.
Yes.
But it was like in a sack, and I had to carry it through the lobby, and then we had to finish dealing with something about my checking out or whatever. So I'm just like sitting in the lobby holding the placenta. Anyway, it's been in the freezer. And now that number 3 is old enough to participate in the planting of his apple tree, we need to plant it. Yep.
We dig the hole and then we stick him in it. So they have to be old enough to not flip out being in the hole that's way
steep. So we have a picture of each of them in their hole going, I'm a tree! It's pretty cute. And it's going to be extra cute when they're like big enough to stand next to the tree picking apples.
And we'll make them make the same pose.
I'm a tree! Eat the apples! What else did we have them do? There was something else.
That was it.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then the fourth thing I would like to do is attend 5 craft shows next year. Which I think should be doable because I did 3 this year and I didn't start till October.
Right.
So I can definitely do 5 next year.
Does that count as being on the Funny Farm? Those are all off Funny Farm.
No, all of that prep work takes place on, like, it completely changes life on the Funny Farm.
It does change life on the Funny Farm.
In a good way?
Sometimes. Depends on what size checks you start bringing home.
So if they were comically large, yes. How would that be?
That's all I'm asking for. I just want to see what's happening.
And what's the 5th thing we're going to do, Steve?
I don't know. I don't think I have a good one.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Plants?
Oh, we're going to move. I wanted to...
Oh, that's right.
To organize the crafting items.
You want to quarantine my unused craft?
Yes, that's an excellent way to say it. Quarantine the unused craft items.
So, like all the fabric that I'm not using, because I'm not really using fabric these days, you want to put it in totes and stick it in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've decided that we can appropriately tote things so as not to get it eaten by rats.
Yes.
We gave it a little test, and so far the kids' clothes have been okay down there, so I think my fabric should be. So yeah, put that stuff in totes, move it down. Anything else? So the fabric you have a problem with. Is there other craft stuff you would like quarantined?
I just think that there's lots of stuff that is not on shelves, and there's no shelf space because we have stuff on shelves that we don't use. And so I think there could be, as we need more and more floor space in our home because we have more and more kid on the floor, that we need to start turning some of that floor space into play space.
So you want to quarantine the crafts?
Yep, quarantine the crafts.
Does the yarn get to stay upstairs?
If you continue to use it.
Challenge accepted. I have to use at least 30 skeins. God, we're losing light fast, aren't we? I'm turning like green.
Well, yeah, it's almost time for bed. You've already kept me up late.
I know.
It's almost 5. I should have been in bed an hour ago.
Wow, way to take one for the team.
I know.
What a birthday present.
I hope you all like me.
I don't know if they like me, so I don't know what... what you're gonna get out of it.
Please, post your comments below. Do you like me? 1-word answers only, please.
If I get thumbs down on this video, I'm gonna say it's because of you.
Absolutely. Please thumb down it so I don't have to appear again.
I've heard people say before that, you know, when you ask people to do something, to intentionally do it bad so that you don't have to do it anymore.
Right. If I was intentionally trying to do this bad, I really blew it.
Because you're so awesome.
That's right. It's just extra awesomeness coming out my nose.
Is that what that is? But yes, I think that is all my stuff. Do you think there's anything else I need to do while I'm 30?
I told you needed to finish learning to water ski.
Maybe. I'll try, maybe. Maybe it could not be so hot that we have nasty blue-green algae and the clothes just like all summer long. Because I'm not getting in the water with nasty blue-green algae.
Camping. We need to camp while you're 30.
We'll do that some more. I think the kids are now old enough.
Yes.
Should we say goodbye already?
We could say goodbye already.
Are you sure you have nothing else of interest? If no,
I don't think so. You never asked me what I was watching, but now they don't get to know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
They'll have to wait until the next time I'm on.
What are you watching?
I don't know. Nothing. Survivor. I was watching the finale of Survivor last night.
No spoilers.
That's right.
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Or I am going to get thumbs down. It's going to be your fault. It's already your fault.
Oh, I thought you were telling them to spoil it for me, because I'm only halfway in. I don't know who won.
We should say goodbye already, because clearly he is very tired and needs to go to bed.
Clearly she doesn't think I'm amusing anymore.
No, I need to go.
She has lost interest in me.
I need to go and get working on things to have them done before New Year's. You know, no obligation crafting, just self-imposed parameters.
Now, she has to give herself some of you might wonder, I wonder why she doesn't give herself a longer deadline. It's because if she gives herself a longer deadline, she will just wait, like if she gave herself 2 weeks to do it, she would just wait a week and then try and do 10 days worth of stuff in 7 days.
Well, I gave myself a list right now, and a lot of these things are things I intend to do, like, this week. That way I can get started on my list of 30 things, like, immediately. But, I can't work on any of them for 2 days.
That's right.
I'm not 30
You're not 30 yet. Still just 29.
That's why I'm so cute and young.
Yes.
You should see me next week.
When you see her next week.
It's going to be bad. But anyways, if you have made it this far, which is like going to be like an hour and a half-ish this week, then I love you more than cows and cheese and applesauce. And he thinks you're all right. So...
Well, I used to think that getting loved by her more than cows and cheese and applesauce meant something. But now that she shares it with 25 other people every week, plus whoever else tunes in, I feel a little less special than it was in our wedding vows.
It's okay. It's not 25 people. It's like 3 that actually watch the whole episode, if I understand the analytics correctly.
But that's how many subscribers you have.
Yeah, in the 25-ish realm, give or take on any given day. So maybe someday there will be more of you, and if there are more of you, perhaps I will do something about that, but not yet. Anyways... Some people give things away and stuff.
I understand.
I realize that you do not watch these things.
She's waiting to be able to try to auction me off.
No, I mean...
It's her way of getting rid of me. She's going to offer the handy hubby
No, you're my...
giveaway.
You're my heat source right now. As you discussed for the first, 25 minutes, you cut wood so that I can have a wood stove.
I did not discuss for 25 minutes. It was just my only response for 25 minutes.
Okay.
Would you ask what I was doing?
So how much wood can a Steve chuck? If a Steve chuck can chuck wood.
Depends on how mad I am at you.
Good point.
I'd probably chuck a lot of it at you if I was mad.
Anyways, I will see you all next week.
I won't.
No, just me.
Unless,
so it will be...
unless she gets an overwhelming response that she's only funny with me around.
And then we might just stop the podcast. Because finding time for both of us is much more difficult than you would think. But yes.
We'd have to eliminate the What You're Watching segment if I was going to be on every week.
Oh, yeah, because... No, I watch things without you, thank you very much.
Okay.
You are not my sole source of entertainment.
Could have fooled me.
We really are going to go now. So, have a good one, and continue to make... What? What should they make?
Cheese.
Such nice work!